Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CNT podcast. My name is Tommy Terrio, and I am here with,
Justin Yormark.
there it is. So,
Guess who's back? Back again.
Justin, is back after missing two out of the last three episodes. So, glad to have you back. First and foremost, glad to have you back.
Lots of behind the scenes stuff going on. You and Dylan again, great job. But it's good to be back in the hot seat. Sadly, Dylan Trago was a game time decision for this episode, and we had to rest him. He was not feeling the greatest. We decided a week of rest.
Coach's decision, yeah.
We are hoping he's back next week, but the game time decision led to it just being me and Tommy today.
Yeah, our medical staff said he couldn't go today, so.
Let's get into Thought of the Week. Let's get off the sad gloominess.
Yeah.
Thought of the Week this week, I got an in-person autograph that I got myself of a Topps home run challenge that I never did. So I pulled this card, put it away. This player was then traded to the Mariners. I pulled the card out. I think it'd be super cool to get signed. Because, I've never actually seen a home run redemption card signed. Have you,
No,
Tommy?
I haven't either.
Well, Eugenio Suarez will make your day.
So there, it's really not what I was expecting. I was really trying to figure out, what other some players have been traded. I was thinking maybe Winker. I don't know, but that's
no. I didn't draft Winker at all in his Mariners time, and now he has been traded. I think it looks pretty good. I think it turned out good. And Gino has a good signature. I would get more home run challenges card signed in the future. Especially if I did one and they won it, and then got it signed. I think that would be super cool. I think that's my next goal.
Can you win a home run challenge? Or do you have to turn in the redemption card, or
you have to? Oh, I don't know if you have to turn in.
I don't know how it works. I've never.
No, I don't think you
do.
Because there's a number you put in from the bat that you scratch off and put in. So I don't think you actually have to turn in the card.
Okay, so it's essentially just a redemption if you win.
Yeah, and then you get a prize. And so I think that'd be really cool. Is to call the game the person hits home run and then get it signed.
Also, if someone knows what the reward is, please let us know. I can't imagine it's probably maybe like a $5 or $10 pack of cards or something, but still
probably something like that.
Better than nothing, right?
Yeah. I just think that'd be really cool. You win a redemption.
Oh no, it'd be great.
And then you get the card signed. I think that'd be sick.
So
before we get in the episode, Tommy,
nope. See it. No, I'm done.
I gotta say no, Tommy,
nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Where's your dress code? I don't see your headphones on.
I honestly don't know where my headphones are.
We have a strict dress code on the CNT podcast.
Here, Justin, pretend there's headphones on. There you go. Merry Christmas.
You can finally Tommy says this joke year round, and it annoys me. I don't think I've ever expressed it. He is Merry Christmas. Oh, here, you can have this player for your list. Merry Christmas. He'll do that in February. It annoys me so much. But in the month of December, I feel like I have to let him say it. I feel like I can't get upset about it in December.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know why.
All the other 11 months, it annoys me so much.
I don't know why I say it either. It's just a thing I've just come to say. So
you should stop saying it. In all honesty. Okay, now we can get into.
You have anything else you want? You have anything else you want to complain about?
No, I'll leave it be.
So today we were talking about.
Well, actually, Tommy, the shirt you're wearing is not quite good enough.
What, you don't think this is good enough?
Oh my God, it's horrendous! I didn't even know.
That's great. Today we're talking about players who had a big just people involved with baseball who've had a big impact on the game. So Justin's looking a little bit more at the outside of baseball.
Outside.
I'm looking more at the impact on the game.
Ty Cobb will not be on my list, that's for sure.
I think we both have a couple. I at least have one crossover. I don't know. I think you might have one.
I definitely have a few players who changed the game, the actual game, and were great people outside 100%. But Tommy's looking more when we talk about Tommy's players, we're gonna be talking more about what they did to the game. When we're talking about my players, it's more about what they did outside of the game.
Yep.
Even though they did change the game,
In
the
their
physical
in
game
their own right.
for
Yeah.
sure in their own way. Definitely, that's not what we're gonna focus on for them.
Yep. Do you want to
Because
start?
yeah, I'll start. Another thing for my players is like all six of my guys should definitely be people kids look up to and would definitely should be considered role models.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. The obvious one, Jackie Robinson. I mean,
I think we had to get. I think we had to get this one out of that
if we
out of the way first.
if we didn't put Jackie, if for my type of list, if Jackie Robinson wasn't on it,
Or even on my list, like if he
like
wasn't on
it
either of
just
ours, it would be a problem.
I can't say what I was originally gonna say, but it would just be blasphemy. I'll leave
Yeah.
it at that. Jackie obviously broke the color barrier, allowed all people of color into the game of baseball, which thank God. A lot of my favorite athletes of all time, people of color, like thank God that him and Ricky Branch, oh, that's his name, right?
Branch Rickey.
Branch Ricky. Ricky Branch.
Yikes.
It has been one of those days, I'll be honest.
Amen
Branch
amen
Ricky.
to that.
Wait. What was it again? God,
Branch
it's
Rickey,
been
you
a
had it
long
right.
Branch Ricky. Okay.
You had it right.
He is my favorite. I'm gonna say it. He's my favorite non-player in baseball history.
He's
A
two
lot
for
of that
me.
comes. Sorry,
I said he's two for me.
to who's one for you? I don't
Well, he's
know.
one of the guys on my list, so I'll get to that when I
Oh,
get there.
okay. I gotta say this. A lot of it comes from him, the actor who portrayed him in 42, the movie starring Chadwick Boseman. Um, First of all, Chadwick Boseman, super
R.I.P.
sad he passed. He gave a great performance in that movie, and so
That's
did the
yeah.
actor who played Branch Rickey. Like, it's just like I believe the movie opens up with him saying, arguing with like two people who work for him about how they need to get a black player and how like it needs to happen, and like it's just it's a movie about Jackie, but they highlight Branch Rickey's part so well that like it truly opens the eyes to people like who baseball fans who didn't like constantly do Jackie Robinson book reports in school like I did. It opens their eyes that Branch Rickey, like yes, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier and handled it so well,
But there's a
but
lot of
Branch
that
Rickey
that
is
has
the
to be
one
owed
who
to
set it in
Branch Rickey.
motion.
Yeah.
And as great as Jackie is, he wouldn't be anything in the MLB without Branch Rickey. And Branch Rickey, if he was a player, he'd be on my list. Great person. I have a pretty cool baseball card of him as well.
By the way,
That
Branch
also
Rickey's
helps me like
role
him.
was played by Harrison Ford.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would say that's a top 3 Harrison Ford performance.
Mm.
I might be burned at the stake for that. He played Branch Rickey very
top
well.
7.
Top 5.
I'm a sucker for the Indiana Jones trilogy. That's why.
Yeah, but I feel like Indiana Jones that counts as one. I don't think you can count all the movies as separate. I think that's one role.
If you're going by role, then it's a top 3 role. But if I'm going by the movies he's been in,
No, it's like it's a top. It's an acting performance, which I consider you give an acting performance for a role. So, like for example, like okay, like Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan. I consider all of that like that's one role. That's one performance he gave.
mm-hmm. That's fair.
That's at least how I was seeing it in that moment. Now saying it, it seems a little silly because
I think I disagree with it, but I mean,
yeah, no, I'm going back on my word now. That is silly.
yeah.
I'm still giving it top 5. I'm still giving it top 5. I'll go back from 3 to top 5.
I'll take what I get. So my first player, we're just gonna start out with a bang. Barry
Is this
Bonds.
your number one? Oh,
no, it's not. We'll get to him though.
Yeah, obviously Barry Bonds is a player.
But Barry Bonds, I mean, we live in a completely different era of baseball than people did, 30 years ago. Like in how everything was evaluated, how we look at we don't look like, I would imagine that 30, 40 years ago, I don't think there would have been any discussion about drug testing guys. Like that wasn't really like there were some guys who took steroids, but they were fringe players. Now, 30, 40 years later, you got Barry Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, A-Rod, like all these guys that had so much national prominence that they just, that they brought so much attention to the sport that they were kind of okay with them doing roids. But now we call into question everything we know because the Barry Bonds debate is one of the greatest debates. I think it's right up there with MJ LeBron.
By the way, Michael Jordan beats out LeBron any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Probably. I don't know. I don't really have any argument, either way.
Burn me at the stake for saying it. But LeBron will never be Jordan. Ever. Jordan is the GOAT, and it should be undisputed.
I disagree.
Get out.
Nope.
Burn me at a stake? You can't change my mind.
I
Jordan
think
was so much better than LeBron.
All that LeBron needs to do is in my mind, Jordan is currently the GOAT. Once LeBron passes Kareem for most points all time, LeBron will be the GOAT.
But how? Okay, little off tangent. Jordan will have more rings, more MVPs, more finals appearances, more defensive players, more NBAs. Like he just has so much more accomplished in such short amount of time.
LeBron's longevity. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at LeBron's longevity.
Here's what I'll say. LeBron is the most influential player of all time.
Nope.
Jordan is the greatest player of all time.
Steph Curry is the most influential player of all time.
Not influential, most talented. Sorry. LeBron has the most talent. Jordan is the greatest. Torrey is the most inspirational.
I don't know. That's a debate for another time. I don't know. I didn't come to this.
And not for this podcast.
Yeah.
Tune in to Cards and Talk Basketball Edition coming to a theater near you.
There's a scary thought.
No, I've considered doing like CNT baseball, CNT basketball, CNT football. It's been considered.
Yeah.
More people have to be brought onto the team, though.
Certainly. So just the final thought with Barry Bonds is, I mean, when you think baseball and you think, the past 20 years of baseball, you're going to think just a couple of things, and Barry Bonds is going to be right at the top of that list. And like I said before, Barry Bonds, the Barry Bonds Hall of Fame debate is one of the greatest there is in sports.
Certainly.
You want to go to the next guy?
My next guy, he's number 6 on my list. Not really, like he just follows up with Jackie well, but honestly, like he was kind of the add-on. Like when I think of players who influence the game from an outside standpoint, I think of these 5 players, and then this was the add-on to get to 6. So we have Hank Aaron, great player, phenomenal player. I'm sure he was a great person outside of the game. But how he goes along with Jackie broke the color barrier, but Hank Aaron kind of shut the racists up, and like there was less racist comments and remarks thrown at games. Like he kind of made it the norm that some of the great players in the game will be African American or Japanese or like anyone that's not white, and like he showed that it's good for the game and it makes the game better to watch, more competitive, and overall better.
Yeah. That it's that simple, yeah.
And that's why he made the list. Like honestly, he should be, when we talk about breaking the color barrier and we talk about Brian Trickey and Jackie Robinson, we should talk about Hank Aaron more. Not necessarily like he wasn't like one of the
not in that
players,
not in that same
not like the
degree,
same way, but like
yeah,
not breaking down the color barrier, but breaking down racism in the game. Like obviously there's still racism in the game. There's gonna be these crazy fans who still think it should be white only, who are just completely wrong. But Hank Aaron, he shut them up and like he made them less, and like he convinced people that this was the right thing and it was what is best for the game, and overall that it's what humans should do because we're all equal.
Yep. By the way, just so you guys can actually see my face, I'm going to go turn a light on. Just, I think you guys, should be able to appreciate, this face
Quick,
and
guys, cover your
this
eyes.
this
Cover
shirt
your
and
eyes.
all
You're
your
gonna have to see
glory.
Tommy's face. Cover the eyes. Cover the eyes.
That is completely uncalled for.
There's snow outside here in Washington, Tommy. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. It's wild.
I missed school Wednesday because of snow, and then I had a late start on Thursday, which was yesterday.
I had a late start today because of wind.
Wow.
We had like 100-mile-an-hour wind at one
You're
point.
not even in the Windy City.
No, and I'm actually underground, so I didn't even I barely even heard it. So I'm in the
Oh yeah, 'cause
basement.
your room's in the basement, right?
Yep. So my next guy is one of my crossovers, but I'm going Lou
Who?
Gehrig.
Who?
Um, Lou Gehrig was a great player, Hall of Famer. He did all this stuff, but at the end of the day, that's not what people remember him for. I mean, ALS is Lou Gehrig's disease for a reason. Um, and there is he had a great line in his speech that he gave to the Yankee faithful, July 4th, 1939. He said, "For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break. Yet today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth." That's special. And I don't think Garrett gets the respect he deserves for his all that he did on the field, like how good of a player he was on the field. But the fact that a baseball player of all the things for ALS to be remembered by, that it's Lou Gehrig's disease is, just shows how big of an enigma he was out, beyond the sport.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Lou Gehrig, legend. If you read the Player and Me baseball card books, you would know when the guy travels back in time to see Babe Ruth call a shot. He's on the Yankees train with his dad. They're traveling to Chicago. He gets told, and then Lou Gehrig comes over, gives him his jacket, and then he has Gehrig sign a ball that Babe Ruth had already signed, and then he sleeps with Lou Gehrig's jacket as a coat, as a jacket as a blanket, and
Yeah,
I mean, if that's happening in a book, and if he was like that in real life,
awesome.
it'd be special. But the world definitely sees him as this great person, bigger than life human, an athlete who frankly deserves to be considered that way.
Yeah, agreed.
Dude, I love those baseball card books.
Mm-hmm.
They're some of my favorites ever. The Clemente, the the Clemente one in me, I really wanted to read because I love Clemente, and then he goes to the future somehow in it. I didn't really love that part because in the future in that book, people you couldn't the shortstop was no longer called shortstop because it was rude to midgets, I believe. I do not remember what they called it. And then when you got a hit, you ran to third, second, first, and then home. And I
I don't
didn't
know
really
what's the
like
problem with
that
that.
part.
I don't know what's the problem with that.
There's because you run the first, first. You go to second, second. You go to third, third. Like, what is the point of switching it?
At the end of the day, though, if they're going the other direction, it doesn't.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just dumb to
It's just
change it.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just dumb.
The
So
shift would be very different.
I
I'll tell you
really
what.
enjoyed. So I really enjoyed the first part of the book when he went back to Clemente. I did not enjoy it when he went to the future, even though when I first got it to read, I thought I was gonna really enjoy the future part and that it was different and
Nope.
it wasn't. Fun fact, I actually wrote I think it was a fifth grade paper. I had to write a story, a made up story, and I wrote it about me having those powers and me going back in time. So
Awesome.
it was like me in the year 2049 is like a 10-year-old Cubs fan, and then I go back and watch the 2016 Cubs win the World Series.
Nice. Because they hadn't won
And
once
so,
that they hadn't won one after that. So
well, in my mind, they hadn't. And so I just thought that was cool and fun little
Um,
story.
yeah.
And my next player is Roberto Clemente, which is why I went on the Clemente and me transit. He was just so good. He was such a great person. I mean, he gave his life trying to help a place that had hit a hurricane, and he was trying to hand deliver supplies to help them. And he would just constantly do that. He would all off season. He would fly places, bringing supplies. Like I'm pretty sure he used like 80% of the money he made from baseball to help other people and less
Oh yeah,
fortunate
no, I
people.
mean, he did everything. He did it all. So
He is my favorite pirate of all time, and he is my top 10 of favorite players of all time. And it's not even like he was truly a five-tool baseball player too. And like I think his talent is overlooked on the field because he was just such a great guy off the field, and that's what he's remembered for. And I feel like that's what he would want to be remembered for, is not being
yeah,
the great baseball player he was, but the great character and the great person he was. Also, he got exactly 3,000 hits in his career, which is
yep.
pretty cool.
My next guy is Honus Wagner.
Oh, there's my dad one time sent me a video of Honus Wagner playing baseball that they put color into. It was so cool.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. If I ever find the link again, I'll send it to you. But it was
Thanks.
cool.
Yeah. Honus Wagner. Again, this is the last one that's not like in the game. But I mean, when you think about sports cards, the T206 Honus has to be right up there.
See, 206. If it's not
And that's
if you hear baseball cards and that's not the first card you think of, you're crazy.
52 Mantle.
See, as good as the 52 mantle is, I feel like the T06 Honus is like the idea of all sports cards, like the holy grail that it's been nationally broadcast, not just in the card community, to the point where I think it is the most famous card of all time. And
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
baseball, not just baseball,
Maybe.
basketball, and football as well. I think it's the Honus 206.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I think it would certainly have some competition with some like LeBron and Jordan rookies, something like stuff like that.
I just feel like the T206 is advertised so much nationally.
Yeah.
And there's, there's only like 50 made, and there's only like 6 left in the world.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
Like that, like because LeBron rookies, there's a lot more than 6. Jordan
There's a
rookies,
yeah.
there's a good more than 6. Honus Wagner T206 cards, there are 6.
Yeah, it's
I think
you have
that's
a
what
vault.
sets it over.
If you have one of those, you have a vault. It's one of those things.
Yeah. The funny thing is, there could be like there's a decent chance there's a kid who had like 2 of them somehow, and like he grew up like just threw them in his attic, and like the house has been in the family for so long, no one's thrown up there. There's a decent chance there's just random cards worth over 20 million just sitting around in someone's basement or attic that no one has thought that there might be.
Yeah.
There's a good chance with the Honus Wagner C 206 card, and that's like crazy to think about. Is if that family house, if someone would just look in the right spot, they would become millionaires like that.
And it's funny, like I love, um what is it? Sorry. Like I love card collecting. You do too. I mean, obviously there's a reason we do this podcast, but um if I were to get a Honus Wagner, I would sell it. Or I'd auction it off rather, more specifically.
You know, it was on my dream cards when we did that episode. It was one of my dream cards.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
It
Go back and
was.
watch that.
I'd probably have to sell it, but what I'd like to think I would do is I would auction it off and then donate a portion to a charity that Honus Wagner like supported somehow or something. Like he was always against tobacco, so smoking products. So I would donate to something like that.
Yeah, like an anti-smoke, like a something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like
like
I'm never
like
doing
a
it. I don't.
smoker's rehabilitation class, something
Yeah,
like that.
like I'm not like against smoking. I don't think it should be illegal or anything. But like he was so against it that if I was to make millions off of his name and a card
Yeah,
that never went out because of that, I like to think that I would donate a portion to something that
I
he
would
would
certainly donate a
support.
portion of it.
I like to think I would, but if I was given the opportunity to make that much money, I can't even fathom what I would do. I can't guarantee I would, but I like to think that I would.
it also depends on where in my life I was too.
Yeah. I like to think that I would.
Yeah. You want to go into your fourth guy then?
I think you're on your fault because we were talking about Clemente. And then you never really, no, you were on Hunter, but I don't think you really got into him. And we just went on
Um,
a tangent about the card.
yeah, well, that was the biggest point of the card is,
Oh,
like the impact it has made like in the national media beyond just even card collecting, but the impact made
yeah.
in the national media. Again, him and Gehrig are both guys that deserve a lot more recognition for their play on the field.
Yeah. Same with
They're remembered for
Clemente.
things, yeah. They're remembered for
I
things
mean,
off the field. No,
I
Clemente
think
is.
I think the three of them deserve that like on that group, but Clemente like
I would
not
put
as much as
Jackie
the other
over.
two.
I would put Jackie over Clemente. People don't realize
I
how
don't
good
know.
Jackie Robinson was.
Yeah, I think all four of them deserve it.
Yeah,
All four deserve it. I would say Jackie third, Clemente fourth. I'd say Honus second and Jared first. Because Jared was truly a stud. And like you hear Honus, you think of the card, but sometimes you're talking about the greatest shortstops of all time. You're talking Lou Gehrig, there's a better chance of talking about the disease than his actual skill. When you're talking
and
about
the fact he was
Honus,
probably one of the best
it's
first basemen.
closer to 50-50. Yeah.
I would say he. I mean, I don't know that I can come up with a better first baseman.
You could argue Pujols, but I feel like he played a lot of DH. I feel like he maybe
He played
shouldn't
a
be
lot,
considered.
especially like in the last half of his Angels tenure. His entire half season of the Dodgers and that last season with the Cardinals, it was almost entirely DH.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm gonna have to say he was a DH.
I'm not going to say he
Saying
was.
that though,
I'm not going to
he'd
say he was a
probably be the
DH, but I'm
greatest
going to diminish
DH.
his stats as a as a first baseman.
Yeah, but if it's going to diminish his stats as a first baseman, he should just be considered a DH because we're not going to count him as the best first baseman of all time. But if we count him as a DH, he could be the best DH of all time.
Yeah.
Anyways, I really like this episode because we're like getting off track and like talking about a bunch of stuff. But
Yep.
let's get back on track so we can get back off track.
All right, works for me. You got your no. You're four.
This is a player who is known for his playing abilities, but should be taught more about what he did off the field. You know the few guys I have left. Do you know who I'm talking about, Tommy?
No, I mean it's one of the three, but I'm not sure
Ted
which one.
Williams.
Okay.
Everyone talks about him hitting 400 in a season. Rightfully so. That is crazy.
Yeah.
But no one talks that he left baseball in the prime of his career to go fight in World War II. And I don't think he was drafted. I think he volunteered for it. Can you double check that, Tommy?
Yeah, I got you.
I believe he volunteered. I'm gonna wait before I go on this tangent about him.
He left baseball in 1942 after earning the Triple Crown to join the U.S. Navy Reserve. He then went on to active duty in 43 and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps as a naval aviator in 44.
Do you know if he left willingly or if he was drafted?
From the looks of it, he left willingly.
He left willingly after winning the Triple Crown to fight for his country. He became a war hero, came back, and had a Hall of Fame career.
Also, interestingly, he went back and did it again.
He did it again.
Because he went because he then served in Korea.
Yeah. This guy's a legend and more than just from baseball skills, which were impeccable.
So that's really cool.
Great person.
Yeah.
Even greater, great ball player, even better person.
Yep, that's what that. Yep, right order. Nice job. Well done. My next one, again, I'm going back to the controversy, similar in the Barry Bonds vein. Pete Rose.
I love Mr. Pete Rose. I can't lie. He bet on his own team to win. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
It's the
Like
same.
I get,
It's essentially the Calvin Ridley situation, really.
he shouldn't have bet on himself in the way he did. But you gotta let him in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest contact hitter of all time.
Right up there, if not the
I
right
mean,
up
he has
there.
the most all-time hits. So
I
basing
don't
off
know. It
that,
would either be
I'm
him or
going with number
Ichiro,
one.
but
Oh, Ichiro was great at contact. Oh, he's top two. He's top two.
that's
Ichiro
again,
was
that's another one
amazing.
that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah,
Remember we used to do episodes where it's like we both just got a player and we debated. Remember that?
yeah. I think we did that once.
I think we did it once. Yeah,
I have it on the list that we do it again with other players, but we never really do. So
it's kind of fun.
it's a good episode, but like it's a good concept, but it's hard to make it a whole episode. Like maybe in the
It
future we
was
make it
back in
like
the
a
day. It
mini
was back in the
series.
day when this was before I was on,
It
and
was before CNT was professional and stuff.
it was also it also was back when we did like the 10 to 20 minute episodes.
Yeah. What I think though is like maybe doing like every other week, like a mini episode where two people go and debate for like 10,
Who
15
knows?
minutes
Yeah,
on a player as like a mini episode, but it's
we'll
harder to
see.
do that for an actual episode.
Yeah. So Pete Rose, like him or not, he has certainly shaped the game. He's one of the most notable cases of controversy. And it's really interesting because like all controversy stems from them being a good player, which is interesting. Like people wouldn't care that much if Joe Schmo in high A bet on himself, like
Joe Schmo bet on himself. Ah, that's career suicide. I love that guy.
you get my point though.
Yeah.
So uh I don't know. I think, between Pete Rose's play, both, as a part of the Big Red Machine and all that, but also in his regard as to, changing, again, it was one of those big deals where he changed, American perception of baseball. I think he has to be on your, list of impactful people in baseball.
Mhm. He's probably my favorite Red player of all time. Him or Suarez. I really like Suarez, but that's mainly because of his Manual season,
Yeah.
not when he was. I did not like him when he was on the Reds. He would always hit bombs against the Cubs.
Castellanos.
He should be a Cub. My next player is Satchel Paige, and it's not really what he did outside of the game. It's him. He should be a role model to kids to never give up. Satchel Paige played in the Negro Leagues for so long, and Jackie finally brought the color barrier, and a 42-year-old Satchel Paige joined the MLB and got to
And
live
was
out his
awesome
dream.
too.
He was good. He was good. He got to live out his dream of playing professional baseball in the MLB at 42. He never gave up. He always believed someone would break the color barrier, and when Jackie did, Satchel got his chance, and he never gave up, which is why little kids or anyone should look up to him for never giving up on his dream. That's
Yeah,
all I
I
really
think.
have. I mean, it's simple to
Yeah,
him.
no, it's great.
He definitely could have broken the color barrier because with his personality, he would have fought anyone who called him a racial
Yeah,
slur.
you can also look at you can also look at like his upbringing and just all the stuff that he went through even before he got to the Negro Leagues, and it's that's a pretty fascinating story.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Satchel Paige, find a biography book, find a documentary, movie, or series, and watch it and read it. He deserves to be known more.
Yeah, just all that he went through, all that he fought for, it just
Dude,
it,
now I want to
despite
watch
that,
a
how good he
Satchel
was.
Paige documentary.
I have a book.
There's a Satchel Paige in me book.
But I do actually. I do have like a biography of his. So
You might need to send that over to me.
yeah, I just might have to.
Soul of the game. It looks like it's about Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson, who's another black athlete who got to live out his dream in the MLB.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, he got to the MLB after it broke, but
I
he
believe so.
mainly
Yeah.
played in the Negro leagues.
Again, it was not a case of being quite old by the time he got there. Um, this one, this my next guy might get me in some
So
might
yeah, what
interesting
if you
looks.
don't know much about if you don't know much about Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige, you should watch Soul of the Game. It's on Amazon Prime. I haven't seen it, but I'm hoping they do Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson good because they deserve to be known more by the
Yeah.
fans. I'm gonna give it a watch soon.
So this might get me some questionable looks, but Rob Manfred.
Oh my god, is this you? There's no way you like Rob Manfred more than
No,
Branch Rickey.
it's not. It's not. He's not my guy. He's not
So your next guy's also not a player and was never a player.
correct.
Okay, you almost had me
Well,
outraged.
well,
You
he might have been a
almost had
player.
me
He might have been a
outraged.
player at one point. I don't.
Oh well, then it doesn't. I'm talking about people who never played in the MLB or professional baseball. When I was talking
I
about
don't.
that,
I'm 98% sure he didn't.
I will fact check you when we get to him.
But let me talk to you about Rob Manfred. The guy. I mean, the guy has received so much public scrutiny. But let's think about what the last two
Most
years.
of it's well dissolved.
Let's think about two of the last 3 years and what they've brought us. My homeboys had to deal with both a lockout and the
A
code.
lockout that he started. They didn't have to lock out. They had another year. Rob Manfred chose to lock them out. Sorry.
I mean, hey,
Sorry.
he was part of the reason that the league made it through. Like it or not, he's part of the reason that the league made it through. Also, no one could have done a better job with the COVID pandemic.
He did do pretty well with the COVID pandemic, getting the season out there, putting up the cardboard fans. He did all right with that.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's, like people got mad at him for his handling of both the lockout and that. I don't know that anybody else would have done any better of a job. That's
I don't think anyone could have done a better job. I think he
that's
handled
my
it the
that's my
best
point.
it
Is
could
that
have
like the
happened.
point I'm trying to make is, I mean, in totality, I mean, he essentially has saved baseball twice,
Twice.
partially with the lockout because
No, he
he's at,
started the lockout.
but
He
he
did
also
not save
but he
baseball
also
from
was
it.
he was also responsible for being a part of the group that ended it. So
MLBPA had to make sacrifices because they were being grumpy. He did not save baseball from the lockout. He almost ended baseball with the lockout. I'll give you he saved baseball with COVID, but the lockout, you are not getting me on your side with that. I will not be grouped in with you when you say that. I made a really funny TikTok during the lockout.
I
I
don't know.
put on my I put on my suit. It wasn't for CNT. I put on a suit and I put in like a funny sound like I Rob Medford had his chance. I'm ending this lockout on my own, all dressed up in a suit.
That's funny. But I
I
mean,
really like
he
that
was part of the
TikTok.
committee that got. I mean, so the deal didn't come to fruition until they met in New York in a hotel in like middle of March. But the most impactful was, but I mean, he was part of the group that was both there and in Florida, Jupiter, Florida, for those like 3 weeks of meetings where people stayed up until 3 a.m. trying to solve this problem. He was part of that delegation.
I
Like it or
think he
not,
might have had to.
he was there though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is he
He
was
was
an
definitely
influential
there,
part of.
but I think he might have had to as the commissioner.
Like it or not, though, he was there and he was an influential part of it, and that's just that's how things are. And maybe it was a time and a half, that he saved baseball, but I still think that he has to be given some credit for. He obviously has to be given credit for the COVID, but then also for the lockout.
No credit for the lockout, credit for COVID. That's the best you're gonna get from me.
I'll take what I can get. Who's your last guy?
Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo.
We're not gonna. I'm not gonna
Another
comment on the
guy.
fact that all of this,
No, come on the fact that all of this is what?
that we had all these legends, and then Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo survived cancer, and he runs the Anthony Rizzo Foundation that is constantly helping kids with cancer get treatment they need, and to live out their dreams of meeting Anthony Rizzo and meeting baseball teams. Like, it's like Make a Wish if it was ran by a baseball player and was only for kids with cancer.
Awesome.
Like, it's like, and here's the thing is, he might not be like deserving as much. Like, he might be the least deserving player on my list. But here's the thing. Here's what I want to talk about. I got into this. I want to talk about players who do so much outside of the game. And Rizzo and his foundation, it not many fans like know about it and know what all it is. Like, they know he survived cancer, but they don't know that he's constantly running this foundation, doing his best to end cancer, and giving these kids who do have cancer a chance to go to Cubs batting practice and meet him, or go to the Yankees field, go on the field during batting practice, meet Rizzo, and meet these players, and just get to
Yeah, it's
have
awesome.
a great moment that they'll cherish for the rest of their life, as he is trying to fight for them to get to have a longer life and try to end cancer itself. And so, yeah, all these legends, and then there's Rizzo, but Rizzo is doing his part, and he is a great person and a great human being.
Yeah.
He deserved to be mentioned in this episode. I will die on that hill.
My last guy is my favorite my favorite non-player in MLB history, and that is Kenesaw Mountain Landis.
Can you spell that out for me?
No, I'll just tell you that he didn't play. I looked it up.
I like Branch Ricky more. Change my mind. See if you can change my mind.
Kenesaw Landis saved baseball.
Okay, you're on a good track to changing my mind.
So, December 7th, 1941, a day as remarked by President FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, remarked that it was a day that should forever live in infamy. It cast the U.S. into World War II, and U.S. morale was not great because they were still in the midst. I mean, they were still recovering from the Depression, and World War I was 23 years. It ended 23 years earlier.
Yeah,
So
but World War One, U.S. played a very small part.
yeah, they were there for 1 year.
Soldiers were only truly in the trenches for a couple of months. That's what I'm
Yeah,
learning about in history right now. So I'm going to fact check you on that. U.S. didn't lose that much in World War One.
I don't know. Trench warfare was still not pretty though.
It's not good and not pretty at all, but like every other country that was involved lost more than the U.S. did.
Yeah, about 116,000 American military personnel died
Yeah,
in
which
World War
is
One.
tragic and horrible. But compared to countries like England and Russia, well, I guess Russia was on the bad side of it from our point of view, but still,
Yeah,
death
they
is
were kind of
not
an
good.
independent third party, but you get the point.
Death is not good on any side, and a lot of other countries lost a lot more than that.
Yeah. So like I said, though, U.S. morale was down, and people are leaving to go to war, and because that's just what you do. You start the draft back up, and you say, hey, we need our boys to go into the Pacific. We need them to go to Europe. We need them to go around the world, and help North Africa. We need them to help fight off, the Nazis, the Japanese, etc. So the people need something though. All those still on the home front, whether they physically can't serve, or they're too young to serve, or females weren't like there wasn't a large number of females besides like Red Cross and like
Or if you're pretending to be a man to go to war.
yeah, there were some who did that as well. So the people needed something, and Judge, because he was up almost that up until he became the commissioner of baseball, he was a judge. Judge Kenesaw Landis became the commissioner of baseball, and he said, "Mr. President," in a letter in January to the president, he wrote, "Mr. President, I believe that the nation needs baseball. While I am not going, something along the lines of, while I am not going to object to, well, I'm not going to object to your to your drafting of any of my players. Like you can take whoever you want, and any of them that volunteer are free to go, etc. Um, he said, "Hey, I'm going to keep baseball going for the spirit of the people." And I actually have a copy of FDR's response to that, where he says, "Yes, I agree. We need to keep baseball just to preserve the to preserve like American spirit." So that's why, if you ever look at rosters, in the mid 40s, and you're like, what happened here? Like the early to mid 40s, like MLB rosters, and you're like, where is everybody? They're serving their country. And, Landis saved baseball because, I mean, if baseball ends there, like if there's no season from 41 to 45, there's not a shot that baseball's coming. I mean, it's going to be a long shot for baseball to come back from that.
Which is why him and Branch Rickey are the top two baseball people in baseball that never played professional baseball. I don't want to pick a side because I feel like both are influential, and he definitely saved baseball. But you could argue Branch Rickey also he
They
did
they had
save
let's just put it this way,
baseball.
they both
He
had major.
saved
It's not a
baseball.
competition.
No, but I want to say like Branch Rickey saved baseball in a different way,
Yeah,
and I'm
he
gonna
kind of
end my
saved
point with
baseball from
saying,
itself, if you will.
yeah, exactly. What I was gonna finish saying is I see them as tied for number one of best people in baseball who never played baseball
Yeah,
professionally. So I wasn't trying to make a bigger case for Branch Rickey and win this competition. I was trying to give him equalness.
yeah, no,
But I thought of it like Branch Rickey did. He saved baseball from itself.
yeah.
I was just trying to add on.
Is there any other anybody else that you think honorable
Oh,
mention or anything else?
not not that I'm thinking of right off the top of
Yeah,
my head.
I got another one off the top of
I
my head
mean,
either. So
Trevor's gonna love me for saying this, but I've seen multiple videos of Jose Altuve always going back to the Dominican Republic and bringing bats and balls so the kids can play with it. Because when Altuve was growing up, he had a stick and a bottle cap that his dad had to go running back and grab like the whole time. And
yeah,
so he's always helping out there. But a lot of players do that. But I've seen Jose Altuve do it quite a
a
few
lot. Yeah.
times. So I want to like
Can
put out that a lot of players do it, but I know Altuve does it a lot and
I say one other thing really
put
quick
that out.
too?
No,
Okay. John
go
put up the
ahead.
sign that.
No, go ahead.
um,
I'm,
so
I'm
like,
just playing.
so obviously the World Cup is going on, and the U.S.
Oh,
plays.
whoa. This is a baseball podcast.
Just, just hear me out for a second. Just
Okay, fine.
So one of the big focuses we have here on the good old CNT podcast is, the expansion of sports and getting sports to as many people as possible, right? And I was really thinking about, how awesome it is, like with what Altuve does and all these other people who give back to their communities, especially when giving, bats and balls and everything else. Because with soccer going on right now, soccer is such an easily translatable game anywhere. All you need is a ball. Baseball, it's a little bit more difficult. Hockey is even more difficult. Like there's tiers to this, obviously. But the more that we can do to get more people the equipment to play baseball, the more the game is going to grow.
Another is there are multiple companies that are they can send you into places like the Dominican Republic if you don't have them, or send them to kids' hospitals that need them. And if you have extra cards you're not using it, I highly recommend you donate them. I've done it a couple of times. I've sent a few base. I included a few good rookies in it. Um, it's just like it helps grow the game. And let's be honest, as cool as baseball cards are, I don't need 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
I need 100,000 of them. No, but in all seriousness, if you have the extra cards that you can send to people in need, or people just help grow the game, I highly recommend it.
And not even just I mean, take it beyond growing the game, even just, give these kids something to enjoy, like something to enjoy. Like don't even think of them as just like potential like baseball, fans, whatever else. Don't I mean you don't even have to
I
think
would
about it in
think
that
about
regard.
it.
Just say,
I mean, if you didn't want to think in that regard, you can send a baseball card to the next Julio Rodriguez potentially, and get him to fall in love with the game, and he'll become a generational talent.
there you go. Nice way to look at it. Nice
I
spin. But yeah, Justin,
mean,
you got something you
you're
want
the
people to see?
angel on everyone's shoulder. I'm the devil, giving opposite ideas, spitting through.
You have something yeah, there it is.
If you don't listen to the sign, me and Tommy can be on your shoulder, screaming to you good baseball ideas 24/7. Some of you may want that, but I get annoying after a couple of hours. I promise you that.
Oh, sorry. I was supposed to agree with that. Oops. Oops. All right.
Tommy, do we need to have a
Let's do this. All
conversation?
right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you guys listening and watching every single week. If you guys have any other ideas about impactful players that we forgot or any other stories that you would like to add on to, let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.